Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Hoops All In podcast. As always, I'm your host, Werls fan. So I'm joined by my co-host, Keith Baseman. Keith, man, what's going on? It's been a while since we shot our episode. Our last episode was the NBA season preview.
Yeah, I know we've been slacking a little bit, but it's all right. Good. I mean, we've had some very surprising things through basketball. We're getting
Yeah,
to the point where we're kind of seeing teams. The first week or so is teams trying out things, trying out different lineups, and it still happens, obviously. But we're getting to the like. It already feels like we're getting towards the middle of the season. Teams have only played like 6 games, so.
I wouldn't say that middle of the season. I mean, we got like what 70 something, 70
No, yeah,
games
I just
left.
mean that teams are going to get more into the more consistent form. We're getting out of
Yeah, I feel you.
we're getting out of like the trying new things phase, and we're kind of just see how teams are. You know,
Yeah, I
not
feel you.
final form, obviously, because they save that for playoffs. But
Yeah. I definitely feel you. Well, speaking of teams, let's talk about what's going on in Memphis, Tennessee, with the Memphis Grizzlies and their superstar all-around player in Ja Morant. So it looks like things are not good between the two parties. The Grizzlies had an embarrassing loss against the Lakers, and Ja played horrible, probably his worst game in his professional career in the NBA. Didn't make a three-pointer shot, 0 of 6 from three, only had 8 points in 31 minutes of action. And Ja was asked by a reporter post game, "Hey Ja, pretty much what the hell happened? What's going on?" And he said, "Hey, go ask the coaching staff. They had a whole spiel in here." And Ja was suspended 1 game for conduct detrimental to the team, as
Mhm.
reported by Shams. And now it seems like their relationship is already in turmoil. So there's been reports, rumors out there that teams across the league are monitoring the relationship and tension between John Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies, and that he could be possibly on the trading block if things don't improve. So it'll be another surprise to see an all-world superstar talent of his caliber getting moved this season. What do you think about this whole John Morant Memphis Grizzlies situation?
I think it's a sucky situation, mainly for Memphis, because they at the end of last season they fired Taylor Jenkins because him and Ja weren't really like Taylor Jenkins was kind of moving past the fact of let's just give the ball to Ja, let him operate. They kind of went more team oriented basketball where a lot of people are getting touches and it's not necessarily run through Ja, who is the best talent on the Grizzlies. And obviously he got fired um, at the end of last season, and now he already had his 1 game suspension. There you go with not liking I don't even know how you say Isolo.
Yeah, I don't know.
Isolo's
Yeah.
the head coach of the Grizzlies now. His leadership and things like that, and he was suspended for against the Lakers on Friday. But yeah, I mean that game before he didn't play great in general, and he played like 30 minutes. So the comments of being like, just ask the coach, it sucks, man, because Ja really is like he's a top 3 favorite player for me, like star wise in the league, man. And since that like 2022 or 2023 year that they had where he was averaging like 28 a game, they were in a dogfight versus the Warriors in the playoffs and they had Dylan Brooks. It was the last year of Dylan Brooks basically on the team.
Mhm.
He just he just hasn't been the same, mainly because he got suspended for 25 games or so, and then he came back after that suspension and tore something in his, I think, arm or shoulder. And then last year he was good, but Jaren was the best player on the Grizzlies last season. And this year, I mean, they haven't started out perfectly, and this is just kind of like the icing on the cake for them. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, they're 3-5 to start this year. They're the 11th seed. they're worse than some teams like the Utah Jazz, the Portland Trailblazers, the Clippers, and they're tied with teams like the Suns and the Kings. So not a great. Again, obviously it's still early. A lot of things can happen, but I,
Yeah.
and apparently Ja has negative, not negative value, but his value is not up there to what you would think. I saw earlier today or yesterday. If he was to be traded, it's not like they're gonna get, you know, two super young talents and 5 first-round picks for Ja. He's just not, I guess, at that point across the league, which I understand because if he, he is kind of injury prone at this point. He also has gone through some off the court, troubles, whether like the suspensions and stuff. Hopefully he's past that part in his career, but he isn't the most reliable, I guess, to some teams is what I would assume. And I I don't think he's going to get traded. I understand why people would think that. I did a whole 2K rebuild on my channel a few days ago about it. I don't think it's going to happen. John Jaren's a good duo, and they got a bunch of promising stuff over there, like between Jalen Wells, Cedric Coward. Their rookies look pretty good this year. If you believe Zach Edey can be something in this league, then they've got a good amount of stuff over there. But they're also going through a ton of injuries to start the year too.
Mhm. Mhm. That is true. I don't know what to make of John Morant's situation because especially he's been in previous situations before. We all know about the gun situation that happened 2 times on video, and Adam Silver had to come in and personally speak to John Morant and be like, "Hey, you're one of the faces, could be possibly one of the faces of the league, of the entire association, and you pretty much messed that up because of your buffoonery off the court." And so Ja being as great as he is, I believe Blake Griffin broke the clip down greatly on Amazon on NBA on Prime. It was just a lack of effort. He looked so disengaged. He didn't look interested, and you can't have such a disengaged player, especially when he's your franchise player, because that rubs off the rest of your team. When your best player is not engaged, everyone's gonna be like, well, why should I be engaged? Why is he not hustling back on defense? Why is he just standing in one spot? Why is he just jacking them threes left and right and bricking everything under the sun? That is going to trickle down. It's an energy effect. And for John Morant to be, well, this is John Morant's stats, ladies and gentlemen, shooting beyond the arc right now. He is about 5 of 32 from three, shooting 15.6% from three. He has more air balls than makes. John Morant has more elbows than makes. This you can't have a guy who's your best player. Look at this. Like, come on, step back. You're not a three-point shooter. What is this? What is this? Come on, man. Josh, stop shooting threes. Another air ball. So when you have a guy who's just that talented, that explosive, that athletic, and he's just settling for 3-point shots after 3-point shots. If I'm the Memphis Grizzlies head coach, I'm out the front office, the owner, I'm like, I have a sit-down conversation. I'm like, yo, what is going on? Is there something off with you mentally? Or you having emotional problems? Is your family okay? Because he does not seem to be tuned in and checked into what the team is trying to accomplish and is actively engaged on the court. So maybe he does want to be out of Memphis. Maybe his time there, he wants to start somewhere new. Who knows? But if I'm the Memphis Grizzlies, I have a genuine heart-to-heart sit-down conversation with him and be like, yo, what's going on with you? Is everything right in your head? Because you're not the John Morant that we all know and love. You're young as hell. You're 26 years old. You're making $40 million a year. You are the face of the franchise. You are a top 20 player in this league. But we can't win when you shoot an 0-4 from three, 0-6 from three, 0-6 from three again. Look at his shooting percentage the last couple of games. 8 of 23, 3 of 14, and 5 of 16, 5 of 14. That is incredibly inconsistent. Incredibly inconsistent. Jaren Jackson cannot be your best offensive player on this team. He doesn't have that type of offensive repertoire. There's a reason why he's a defensive player of the year. So I don't know that whole job situation, man. I think it's just mainly it's between him and the head coach. They have to have a sit down, clear everything, be on the same page. It's like a marriage. It's gonna go through ups and downs, ebbs and flows, but they have to have a genuine sit down conversation. Be like, yo, what's going on? Why are you not engaged with this organization, with this team, with your franchise, and what we're trying to accomplish this season? But yeah, I think hopefully, this is boils over quick. I know, like I said, teams like the Memphis, the Atlanta, not Atlanta, excuse me, the Minnesota Timberwolves have been interested, possibly interested in John Morant. That'll be a nice pairing to have with him, Anthony Edwards. Imagine that backcourt, probably be the best backcourt in the league. But I just think hopefully this just blows over, and because again, it's nice to see great superstar players in small markets like Ja in Memphis.
Yeah. Um, I've got I wrote down teams across the league that either have a hole at point guard or they could need an upgrade at point guard. And I'm gonna ask you what you think. Just give me like a quick 5 second, just like fit. Not all these teams are gonna be able to afford Ja if he was to be traded, but I just wrote down all the teams that I think need a point guard upgrade. Just for fun, basically.
Mhm.
First team is the Bucks. I don't think the Bucks have anything that Memphis would ever want, but obviously they have a hole kind of at the guard spot.
Mhm. Well, we all know the Bucks they need a point guard, but like you said, they don't have the assets or the tools or the players to trade for him. It would be a great fit to have Ja. Imagine Ja and that Giannis duo, but they just don't have the players.
A team that I think could put together an okay little package, the Miami Heat. Tyler Hero's missed the first little bit of this season. I still don't believe that he has played. I don't know what his timetable is off the top of my head, but they would have the contracts to make it work. I don't necessarily know off the top of my head about pick situation, but they also maybe have a young player here or there they might be willing to toss in. Who knows?
The Miami Heat, that could be a very good situation with them. The only thing is, like you said, who are they going to include? Do you think maybe like a guy like a Tyler Hero will be included in trade package, even though he's a shooting guard? But to get somebody like a John Morant, I don't think the Memphis Grizzlies going to be like, well, you either going to give us back Bam or Hero, or maybe Jaime Jaquez, who's starting to find his groove. You know what I'm saying? One of
I
those
think a
guys.
trade like this would have to be mainly drive by picks. Um, and again, I don't know if I don't know. I really don't know if Miami has picks to just give away for a trade like this, but I think you throw in Andrew Wiggins, that almost makes the money match immediately. But then
Mm,
it's just on top of that, player wise, if they're willing to split with a Hami Jaquez or if they're willing to split with the Kalel Ware, I doubt it. I probably wouldn't.
But here's the
But
thing, though. If the Memphis Grizzlies did trade for Andrew Wiggins, you're just pretty much telling everybody that you're rebuilding. And for this team who has had playoff aspirations, either you give me Tyler Hero or Bam Adebayo. I'm not asking for both. I'm asking for one or the other. You're getting a
but I
guy
think
who's 26, who's an
I think
all-world talent.
I think if they were to go down that avenue, I think there are. I truly think there are some Grizzly fans that
Mm.
think that already think that that's going to happen. They traded away their second, third best player this offseason for 5 first-round picks and KCP and Cole Anthony, who they waived immediately.
Yeah.
He never even moved. He never even got on the flight to Memphis.
Yeah, that
So
was a very
I
interesting.
think that's still a thing that could happen. Like this would obviously just be confirming it if they were, but so there's them. Another team that I think could put in a package. Um, again, it's all up to if Grizzlies would like it. Is the Toronto Raptors? You throw in an RJ Barrett, who they've kind of been looking to get rid of for a little while, anyways. Um, again, young pieces over there. I don't really know what that would entitle, but the Raptors, I would say they don't really because I don't know. I don't you could tell me the best because you're a New York fan. I don't know if Quickly should be starting on a team that's trying to make a postseason run eventually.
I I arguably won't, but if you look at the point guard situation, who else can they have to handle the ball? I mean, Grady Dick, he's a shooting guard.
No,
He
but
could
that's
just
what I'm saying. If they could
yeah.
acquire someone and then push
Mm,
Quickly to the bench, the only thing is Quickly's making 30 plus mil a year now.
yeah. So
For
you would definitely have to include him in any type of trade because of his contract, because his salary is just ridiculous.
um The Houston Rockets, obviously, they lost Fred Van Vliet. I doubt they would be looking to make a move like this because they're already good without him, and
Yeah.
they're not going to be giving up an Amen Thompson. They're not going to be giving up a Sengun. They're not. They probably wouldn't even give up Jabari at this point, who's been a very good connector for them this season.
Yes, I agree.
Maybe if they want Reed Shepard, maybe, but even then, you kind of need if you're trading away Reed Shepard, you kind of need backup guard play.
Yeah.
So I don't. I just they obviously have a hole there, and but I don't think that would happen.
Yeah, I agree as well.
Uh,
Yeah, no.
the team you mentioned, the Timberwolves. Only thing with the Timberwolves, I don't know how many picks they have because they traded a bunch to get Rudy Gobert. I don't know if any were involved to acquire Julius Randle, and they also don't have young talent to give up because the Grizzlies aren't going to want Rob Dillingham or Terrence Shannon. Like they're not going to want that. Um,
Unless if they do a package and maybe a Jaden McDaniels, a Mike
but I don't think
Conley.
that I really don't think the Timberwolves would do. I don't think the Timberwolves would give up Jaden McDaniels. He's one
Yeah,
of the best perimeter defenders in the league.
yeah, he is. But again, if you're getting for a guy like John Morant, I mean, at that point, do you just say fuck it and go for it? The only thing is you're gonna have to give up again. That'll be nice to have a little reunion with Mike Conley, taking his last legs with his former stopping ground. You might have to include a Dante DiVincenzo, or you might have to include a Rob Dillingham too. Rob Dillingham, maybe a Dante and a Jaden McDaniels, maybe a second round draft pick. Or yeah, I would say throw in a Conley, a Rob Dillingham, and maybe Dante DiVincenzo if they're not going to part with McDaniels, or there might have to be a three-teamer. Will add a couple of first round and second round draft picks for Ja. Maybe one first, and 2 seconds.
My only thing is though with doing like that is that pretty much aims towards a rebuild if you're focusing on getting Rob Dillingham. And if they're getting Jaden McDaniels is a player I want to have when I'm winning, not when I'm trying to
Yeah,
go. Jaden McDaniels doesn't do anything for me on a 28 win team, you know.
yeah, that's true.
Um,
That is true.
the Suns, I don't think again, I don't think this would necessarily happen. I think this would have to be them saying, "Hey, Jalen Green, you haven't played for us this season. Bye." And Memphis would like that, but they also, I can't imagine have many picks or they definitely don't have the young talent that I think Memphis would want unless they are just gonna buy into Jalen Green.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
The Kings definitely have the money to make it work, but what the hell do you want from the Kings? I mean, you could maybe say, okay, give us Zach Levine or something, and you still got a little bit of excitement, a little bit of a guy who can average 20 plus. But
But no, that spacing would just be so awful because how is Ja going to drive to the lane,
right,
especially if you
yeah,
got Sabonis in there? Yeah,
yeah.
that spacing would be
And then
awful.
the last team, um, which is the team I traded him to in my 2K rebuild, was the New Orleans Pelicans, who have started off abysmal this season. But I mean, I think they definitely have the money to make it work because you could trade away DeJounte Murray, who hasn't played this season yet. If I mean, but it's just
Yeah,
what
right.
else would you add on top of that? Like a Jordan Hawkins who hasn't gotten much time over in New Orleans because of the log jam. I can't imagine they would part way with Fears or Derek Queen, they both look pretty okay through the first part of their rookie season too. But
Yeah, yeah. My only thing is, could that possibly hinder Fears' development because he has been looking pretty solid so far,
yeah,
a couple of games this season.
I think he
You
started a game or two for them.
I believe so too, because you also have Jose Calderon Alvarado, excuse me, who's a defensive pest. Do you
Yeah,
possibly look to get rid of him so you could have more playing, I was gonna say playing time, but more space for John Morant to do his thing? Because you got Jordan Poole will probably have to be included in the trade package because I think Trey Murphy the third is untouchable. Zion, they'll defeat the purpose of trading Zion for Ja. You want to have them play together.
yeah,
And then
right.
I think their new draft pick, the first round draft pick, Derek Queen, you want to keep him and see what he's capable of.
Yeah,
So yeah,
right.
yeah,
It's too early to trade the rookies.
exactly.
But yeah, again, I think if any of those teams that I mentioned, it would probably be the Heat or the Raptors, I think would be the most likely. I don't know how much I don't really like the Toronto fit. I would like the Miami fit more, depending on what's obviously given up. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, the only excitement fit would be the Pelicans, obviously to play alongside Zion, and the Timberwolves to play alongside Ant Man. Other than that, I don't really see any excitement, pizzazz with Ja going and play anywhere else with those teams that you mentioned.
All right, you want to get to some players that have surprised us so far for this season?
Yes, yes. Let's go get to some of these players. You go ahead and start first.
All right. This kind of can count for a team and a player. Josh Giddey and the Chicago Bulls.
I was
Chicago
gonna say
Bulls are
that.
the
Yep.
number one seed out east. They were one of four teams that were undefeated as of a few nights ago. They are now 6-1, but Josh Giddey is averaging 23 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists on 50% from the field and 42% from three on 4.5 attempts per game. He is the first player since Michael Jordan to have triple doubles in back to back games for the Chicago Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
He has he's dropped 20 in basically every game this season, except for one game where he had 18 and another game he had 19. Um, Now, I don't think that what the Chicago Bulls are doing right now is something that's going to happen for very long. But if we get to if we get to February and Chicago's still a top 5 seed in the East and Josh Giddey's numbers stay relatively similar, Josh Giddey's going to be an all-star this year.
I agree. I agree. I would definitely say if the All Star approach right now, obviously with just a week and a half,
Yeah,
almost two
he's
weeks
a
into the
lock.
season, he's a lock for the All Star. You talk about last couple of games 29, 15, 12, 23, 12, 12, 32, 10, 9, 28, and 12. And you look at his field goal percentage, he's efficient
Yeah.
from the field 10 of 19, 10 of 19, 12 of 22, 7 of 14. He's shooting just about that 50% mark. And this is a rare situation where you have a trade between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Chicago Bulls, where it's a win-win because Oklahoma City Thunder obviously got Alex Caruso, brings championship experience, won a championship in the bubble, is a defensive pest. He helped them. He was a big factor in them winning last year. And now you got Josh Giddey, who was like, okay, he had that whole allegation with that young underage girl. Now he found a new home with the Chicago Bulls. It's safe to say that he is their franchise player right now. He has been balling. He's been consistent. That max money he got of over $100 million has been worth every single penny. I feel like right now he got a little bit underpaid based off his performance.
If he keeps this up 100%
Definitely
underpaid.
got underpaid. So I definitely like that. I was gonna say that I definitely like that Josh Giddey player, that Josh Giddey pick as well too. And yeah, Chicago Bulls, like you said, 5-2. They're so far to start the season, they've been pretty strong, and he's been the main reason for it.
Yeah. All right, you go now.
The team that I want to say has been very disappointing to me. I'm gonna go with the team is definitely the Indiana Pacers. Are not good. Look, we all know that they're hurt without Tyrese Halliburton. This is a reset year for them. But man, you mean to tell me everybody's on the hospital bill? I
Mhm.
Benedict Mathurin has not played a game this season. What's going on with him? What
Yeah,
type of
he
injury does
has.
he has?
He has. He played their first 2 games. He's actually averaging 31, but
But that's what I'm saying. Besides
right.
that, what else is wrong with him? You know what I mean? Andrew Nemhard again. I thought he was gonna take that next step. 4 points again. He hasn't really played much, but come on, like it's just the health has been a factor. I don't know if Tyrese Halliburton injury just spread through the rest of them, but 1 and 6. A Pascal Siakam sometimes has been holding down the fort, but everybody else has just been abysmal. I mean, Siakam 26 points, doing what he has to do. He's on the campaign for an All Star, but I just do not like what I'm seeing from the Pacers. I think obviously they just throwing in the towels, like you know what, we're gonna have Tyrese. Let's just sit everybody out and just get a high draft pick. Like again, I would expect it more from a team that's being coached by a great head coach. But I don't know. That's just me. 1 and 6. You got more guys on DMPs than are playing. I just don't like that. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say a ton of it's their fault. Injuries are just a hell of a thing. I mean, Obi
Mm.
Toppin, I think, is going to miss a couple months.
Yeah. Well, you
Benedict
gotta play.
Matherin's out. It says with a toe injury. Um, Andrew Nemhard hurt his shoulder very quick in that first game of the season. And then TJ McConnell, Halliburton, they haven't even played at all this season.
Mhm.
Um, I'll do something that has disappointed us this season. Um, and this is gonna hit for me. The Boston Celtics backcourt has been abysmal to start the year. And when I'm talking backcourt, I'm talking Payton Pritchard, Derek White, and Anthony Simons. I'm aiming more towards Pritchard and Derek White. Payton Pritchard this season is averaging 15, 4, and 5. Okay. But he's shooting 41% from the field and 21% from three on 7.5 attempts. He has not looked great. And even worse, is Derek White, who is averaging 14 points on 31% from the field and 26% from three on almost 10 attempts per game. Um, just horrible. And I could say Anthony Simons is Anthony Simons isn't, I guess, doing as bad. 40% from the field, 37% from three. But those two between Pritchard and Derek White, who are our starters, it's been horrible. And that whole Celtics team also add in their rebounding. It's been the worst thing in the world to watch.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. A team that has been impressive to me right now is the Philadelphia 76ers, and they're doing it pretty much without their big man, Joel Embiid, who's on a minutes restriction. That rookie, VJ Edgecombe, right now, the clear cut favorite for rookie of the year. He's averaging numbers that are in like year three, year four, 19 points per game, shooting about close to 48% from the field, 44% from three. That's something he's definitely improved on throughout his time in college at Baylor. Man, you talk about his very first game, dropped what,
Dude,
34 points
that was
against
a
your
crazy
Boston Celtics at TD
dog up.
Garden. At TD Garden, he was just dogging everybody. You talk about dunks. He's a freak athlete, very strong. Has an NBA body. He don't need to be hitting the weight room anymore. He's very strong, very stout to him. And Tyrese Maxey currently leading
Oh
the NBA in points per game. You want to talk about a guy who's arguably put himself in MVP conversation very
my
early
god.
on this season? It's him. 34 points per game, shooting almost 40% from the field, 49% from three. Man, that rookie, I don't know what you want to call him, VJ Maxi, whatever you want to call him, like TJ Maxx, VJ Max. Right now, they're arguably the best backcourt in the league, and it's not even close so far to start this season.
Yeah, VJ Edgecombe has been
He's
the
a
way
stud.
he's been playing, I'm
He's a
seeing a
stud.
glimpse of Anthony Edwards right there.
Yes, yes.
He shot it pretty well through the first part of his career. He's shooting 44% from three on 6 attempts.
Mm-hmm.
He's also averaging the second most minutes in the league right now at almost 39 per game.
He's a dog, bro. He's a dog.
He's by far my favorite player in this draft class.
He's a dog.
And then Tyrese Maxey,
Mm.
like you said, Tyrese Maxey has been virtually unguardable.
Yeah.
Like there is nobody that has been able to guard him. He hasn't dropped less than
Mm.
26 points in a game this season.
Mm.
He's dropped one, two, he's dropped 240 bombs and 239-point games already. He is one of those players where he either is going to pull up from 30 feet in your face, or if you try and close out on him on the 3-point line, he's just going to go right by you because he's faster than 95% of the league.
Mm-hmm.
And his finishing ability is elite. He's averaging 42 minutes a game, so he's getting run into the ground a little bit, that backcourt. But he's shooting he's shooting 9.5 threes per game, and he's shooting 48% from three. He's
Yeah.
shooting better from three than he is from the field.
Yeah.
If the
I,
season was to end today, he is an all NBA first team player.
Easily. And I don't want to say this is a little of a hot take, but based on how hot and great the Philadelphia 76ers have started this season, I look at possibly looking at shopping Paul George around because it's like, hey, Paul, we doing this without you, and we paying you what, 4 years, $200 million, and what you gave us last year's production was abysmal. We don't really need you because we got this guy VJ Edgecombe that's been balling. And again, this is Joel Embiid who's practically playing on one leg. If you've seen Joel Embiid played, he can't jump. He can't jump over a cardboard. So,
He doesn't even do the jump ball.
He doesn't
He has
because
like
his knees
Kelly
are shot.
Oubre do it or something.
Yeah, his knees are shot. So eventually that whole situation, we don't know what Joel Embiid's medical is like, but we know his knees are not healthy at all. He's definitely on his way to retirement. The fact that he can't even jump for a layup, that's scary. But I said this earlier. I'm like, hey, you guys, when we did our preview, the Sixers might have to look at trading Embiid and Paul George because they doing this great with those two guys leading the charge, and they're under 25 years old. You're looking at ourselves again. It's very early, but it's like, hey, we don't really need these guys. We got two productive guys, and plus, we're gonna have to pay VJ Edgecombe if he keeps playing at this level max money.
Yeah, and something good that for Philly as well. Although he dropped a donut, Jared McCain came back last night.
Mm-hmm.
He is out tonight. They are losing by 5 to the Cavs, but he's not playing tonight. But hopefully that he'll be back soon. But Maxey was one of the players I was going to mention for surprising. Speaking of another player that I think would be all NBA first team if the season was to end today, Austin Reeves, bro.
Yes.
Austin Reeves I mean, Luca has missed a few games here and there. He's missed 4 games so far. He's not playing tonight. Um or no, he is playing. He didn't play in their last game, sorry.
Yeah, injury
Austin
management.
Austin Reeves is averaging 31,
True.
5, and 9. He's shooting 49% from 3, 35% from 3, but I mean, he's dropped a 50, almost a 51-point triple double. He's had another 41-point game. And he hasn't dropped less than 21 points in a game this season.
Mm.
Um, Now he is out actually for tonight versus the Spurs, but I mean, I made a video saying that this is Austin Reeves' last year of his contract. And since he is like an undrafted guy, he doesn't have all the stuff that like other rookies or players of that would be. The Lakers are not going to have a choice but to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen a Luka Doncic team, and I mean, we've seen a Luka Doncic team work having another guard as the second best player. He did it with Kyrie. Now, granted, Austin Reeves is not Kyrie, but I mean, the Lakers. I genuinely think the Lakers are almost hoping that LeBron retires or leaves. And that's not because LeBron's a bad player. LeBron is one of the 2 best players of all time. He is still probably an all-star this season if he makes the game requirement, but he makes a lot of money and he's old, right? They want to be able to move into the Luka Doncic era completely, even though I think
Mm-hmm.
this is Luka's team now. Luka is the best player on this team.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's just they're gonna have to pay Austin Reeves, bro. They're gonna have to. And with Luka missing 4 games this season, the Lakers are 6-2.
Yeah.
Like they're third in the West, I think.
They're definitely top four. Yeah, they're top four seed in the West right now.
They are, yes, they're third in the West, by a game.
And without LeBron.
Without LeBron and about half their games without Luka.
Yeah.
So Austin Reeves, I mean, has been top 5, top 10 player so far.
Yeah, not to go a little bit off topic, but I think Kevin Garnett said on his KG certified show that he believes LeBron is milking that sciatica injury because he wants to like teach the Lakers a lesson. It's like, oh well, y'all need me on the court, I'm not gonna play, and to see how well y'all do without me. He's like, well, they doing pretty well without you. Listen, we all know LeBron James right now, age 40, gonna be 41 soon, is still better than 98% of the league. But man, listen, they got Luka. How many times has LeBron came out and said, "Yo, I want AD to be the guy to replace me"? When he was with the Cleveland
A lot.
Cavaliers, Kyrie Irving, he wanted Kyrie Irving to be the guy to replace him. Now they finally got a guy to replace him. That, hey, LeBron, you don't have to be Superman, you don't have to be Batman, you don't have to be this do it all, put everything on your shoulders type. You can relax, take a chill pill, take the Tim Duncan route. When Kawhi Leonard was going crazy, they said, you know, Kawhi's your team, is your franchise now. LeBron's like, nah, I don't want to do that. I still say, bro, LeBron, this is what you wanted. Now, when you finally get something, now when it's coming to you, you don't want it. I don't know. But again, I digress. But I definitely agree with you on that. Austin Reeves definitely going to have to get his money worth. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the team and player that has pretty much disappointed me, and that's the Dallas Mavericks. Listen, I believe they're 13 to 14 in the Western Conference. They won 2 games. I got 2 players on that team. Cooper Flag, again, he's a rookie. I understand that, averaging just under 14 points per game, but shooting very, very, I wouldn't say badly, but very inconsistent, especially from 30% from 3. You look at his field goal percentage, just under 40%, 38.3. First game against the Spurs, that's against Wemby, 4 of 13, 6 of 14. Then against the Thunder, 1 of 9, 3 of 14 against the Pistons. So he's still trying to find his rhythm, just 10 or so games into the league. I thought that he'll be more aggressive, knowing that, okay, well, Klay Thompson, another guy I'm going to talk about, doesn't have it going right now. Anthony Davis, again, I believe missed a couple of games with that calf strain, and he has been bringing the ball up the court because they don't really have a true point guard. Obviously, D'Angelo Russell has been playing point, but it's like, hey, Cooper Flag, you play point forward in Duke. Let's put the ball in your hands, get you going, and he just really hasn't quite found his footing, his rhythm in the league to guys like VJ Edgecombe and stuff like that. And hell, even Dylan Harper played a little bit better, has been playing a little bit better than him, even though now he's going to be out for a couple of weeks, I believe, with the cash strain as
Yeah.
well, too. So just Cooper Flag again, just a little disappointing because, for a number one draft pick, his star players are out. He's going to get, because this is a chance for him to prove he's going to be getting the ball and shots more consistently now that the ball's in his hands, and he just really hasn't been that aggressive. But man, Klay Thompson, I don't know what's
Oh
going on with Klay
my
Thompson.
God.
I genuinely don't know. I made a joke
I
and I
saw your
posted.
tweet.
Yo, I made a joke and I posted it on social media. I said Klay Thompson, it's time to break up with Meg, because we don't know what she has over that man, what type of hex voodoo, we don't know. This is not Klay Thompson that has won 4 championships. Now, we granted he's a little bit older. He's what, 35 years old, doesn't turn 36 until February. But you mean to tell me you can't get 10 points? You shoot in under around 26% from three. Klay Thompson is a marksman. He's arguably the second greatest shooter alive behind his former splash brother Steph Curry. 31.8%, pretty much 32% from the 32% field goal percentage from the field. That is awful. Look at this: 4 of 13 first game, 2 of 7, 4 of 7, 3 of 11, 2 of 10, 4 of 9, 2 of 9. This is not the Klay Thompson that we all know and love. So I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he needs to grow his hair out to an afro. I don't know if he needs to be single again, dump Meg the Stallion, do something. But this is not the Klay Thompson we all know and love. This is just abysmal. It's trash. It's basuda. It's awful. It's garbage. Klay Thompson, man, you need to snap up whatever the fuck you got going on. Maybe the Dallas Mavericks, Jason Kidd, need to have a sit-down conversation with him instead of job. Like, yo, what's going on with you, bro? Because this is not like you, Klay Thompson. Do we need to do something? Is your mental health straight? Is your emotion straight? Are you good physically? Is your knee bothering you? Like, seriously, because this is not the Klay Thompson we all know and love, especially with Kyrie Irving still being out, Anthony Davis in and out the lineup. You know what I mean? D'Angelo Russell's handing the ball. He should be averaging at least 15 points a game. He should not be shooting 1 of 6 from 3, 1 of 8 from 3. That's not Klay Thompson at all. So he needs to snap out of it and wake up.
Yeah, Klay hasn't been very good. I would say best jump shot in NBA history, though. Like, I
Yeah,
think if you're
very
talking
true.
jump shot, like the look, that is like, I think Curry. I just saw a thing from Curry say if he was to teach anybody somebody's jump shot, it would be Klay Thompson's.
Mhm.
Um, and Cooper Flag, it's hard, man, because I had some rookies that have surprised me too. Like, obviously we talked about VJ Edgecombe, and I got a couple more that I'm not going to get into, but it's hard, right? They're a rookie. They're 8 games into their professional
Mhm.
careers, where some of these guys are going to have double-digit years in the league. Um, Especially Cooper Flag is going to, obviously have that, but yeah, he hasn't really shot great. He does have a lot of pressure on them when obviously Kyrie hasn't played this season, and now
Mhm.
I don't even know how long AD is supposed to be out for, but yeah, they had him running point guard and stuff. I mean, he's the second leading, if you're talking about people that are active, not talking AD or Kyrie, he's the second leading scorer behind PJ Washington.
Sheesh.
He doesn't
Mm,
have a lot. He doesn't have a lot right now there. Now, granted, D'Lo is a
mm,
good role player. Najee Marshall, PJ Washington, Derek Lively, Gafford, like these are very good role players. But when you don't got the most
mm,
important guys, it's kind of hard.
mhm,
Um, and he just has a lot of responsibility on him. But he will get better. I had an argument
mm,
about this with someone on TikTok. I'm like, where people still have Cooper Flag right now as the best, like as the rookie of the year winner so far.
mhm,
And I
mhm,
truly think that's just people projecting and based on hype, because there's no way through 7 games, I'm sorry, that you can say Cooper Flag has been better than VJ Edgecombe, has been
no,
better than Jeremiah Fears.
no,
I think Cedric Coward for the Grizzlies has been better. Dylan Harper, who you
no,
mentioned, has a conversation who has been better. Um, there's just he's got a ton of time. Like,
mm,
we can rely. We don't need to do it too much. It's easier to do this for some of these veteran players like Klay Thompson, who I think has only shot under 40% from three in his career only once or twice, and he's
mhm,
been in the league for 13, 14 years now. So, but yeah.
yeah,
My last player that I'm going to talk about, and it's another player that has surprised me, is that man in Golden State, Jonathan Kuminga, has looked like the player that the Golden State Warriors wanted. Um, Obviously, we know how this off season went, where it basically took 2 months for Kaminga to be signed, and he signed a deal for about, I think, $24 million for 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't structured how he wanted. I think it was a team option, which he didn't like either because he did
Mm-hmm.
wanted to have some say. Um, I mean, he's averaging 16 points, 7 rebounds, 53% from the field, and 42% from three. Um, I've been on the Warriors case a lot this off season
Mm-hmm.
because I think that they are still trying to live a little bit in the past. I don't think that they really have gone away. Like, obviously, you still have Steph Curry, so you're still going to be a very good 3-point shooting team, and that still is going to be a big part of your offense because he's your best player. But that doesn't they don't have to be known for the 3-point shooting team anymore. First of all, they don't have that personnel getting rid of like a Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins. Like, they've got guy in Jimmy Butler who likes to get to the basket. Jonathan Kuminga, who putting some athleticism in that starting lineup is the best thing they could have done. Granted, Curry is averaging 27. Butler is averaging 19. Draymond Green has shot the 3-point very well this season. But Jonathan Kuminga is the connecting piece to why the Warriors have looked so good. Granted, they are seventh in the, or they're tied for sixth in the West right now. They're 5-3, but they got off to a very good start. Um, and Jonathan Kuminga, I mean, if he plays like this, there's no reason why the Warriors should give him up.
Yep.
No reason. But obviously, with the history, he might still end up not being here in 8 months or something.
Yeah, yeah, I think they're definitely gonna look to again. If I mean, it's a great couple of weeks, so a great 1 2 weeks doesn't change the fact that he wants to get the hell up out of there. So we'll see how that situation plays out. Free Jonathan Kaminga because boy, we was on their ass. Like, how do you treat a guy that can arguably be the next heir apparent? Now he's gonna be Steph, but the next heir apparent to Steph because Steph's getting older, Butler's getting older, Green they all getting older, Green's getting
You
older.
need some youth in that locker room, that old
Exactly,
ass locker room between
exactly.
Draymond, Curry, Jimmy, Al Horford, Gary Payton.
Hmm.
I'm sure there's more people that I'm forgetting, but most of their rotation is 30 plus.
Yeah, easily, easily. Now, this is a team, and I kind of called it a team and a player that has surprised a lot of people this year, and that is the San Antonio Spurs, the other team down in Texas. 5-1. They had their 5-0, their first 5-0 start in franchise history.
Which is
And
crazy.
yeah, well, you have like Tim Duncan, Dave Robinson, Tony Parker, Manny Ginobili, Kawhi Leonard, getting coached by the great Greg Popovich. Man, Victor Wembanyama. I fucking called this. I said this on our preview show. He is coming for MVP. He's gonna win MVP. He's my favorite right now to win league MVP and possibly, well, not possibly, and most doubtably defensive player of the year if he plays the required games and he just stays healthy. He don't have to have another block for the rest of the season. He's gonna win that motherfucker.
Yeah.
You talk about Victor. I think he has. I read a stat where he has more blocks than any other team in
I
the
think it's
NBA
like
right now.
every team but like four or
That's
something.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
But you talk about Wemby, talk about that taking that third year leap, almost 27 points a game, shooting around 52% from the field. Obviously, he's not a three-point shooter, so 29% from three, but 14 rebounds, and he's over averaging almost 5 blocks a game with his 7'6" slender man ass. Listen, Wemby is a 2K created character come to life. You talk about a guy when you just make him so egregiously tall, and he has point guard handling skills. The all season that Victor Wembanyama has is going to go down in the books as the most scariest all season imaginable. He learned how to dribble like a point guard from Jay Crossover, Jamal Crawford. He has the mentality, the pit bull attack mentality when he learned from Kevin Garnett. And he has the footwork from arguably the greatest big man the greatest big man who has the post footwork in Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. And you got Victor Wembanyama, and he's only his third year in the league. So imagine what other things he could add to his repertoire. Talk about next year, he might fuck around and shoot with Ray Allen and Reggie Miller and Steph Curry. Like, what else does this man need to add? First of
Yeah.
all, Wemby is just ridiculous. He has better dribbling skills than some point guards in the league. A lot of starting guards in the league. It's unbelievable. There was a highlight where he dribbled twice behind the back against the Houston
That
Rockets. I
was
believe it was
nice.
some like rookie, just couldn't stay in front of him. That guy, I don't think people understand. For you to just be average height, 5'8", 5'9", 6'5", to be dribbling like that is hard as hell. You got a
Yeah.
7'6" guy dribbling like that, it's a wrap. But yeah, Victor Wembanyama, he put on some muscle. I believe they have him listed as 236. He looks like it. He's on that Giannis diet. But man, 40 piece in the opener against the Dallas Mavericks. He just made AD look like a child, like an eighth grader. Dropped 29 against the Pelicans, shitted on Zion Williamson. 31 against the Nets. 24, 27. But man, oh, it's just the efficiency. 10 and 23, 13, 23, 15, 21. Wemby, man, right now he's probably positioned along with obviously Shea and Jokic and Giannis for league MVP, but he's definitely going to be defensive player of the year, and he's going to win more than one before his career is all said and done. So definitely Wemby and the San Antonio Spurs are currently second in the West right now. And Wemby's tired of losing. He said, yo, I'm tired of losing, man. You guys surround me with some good players and let's get this thing rocking. And they're doing this without De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox hasn't touched the court yet. Oh, Lord. That's
Yeah.
what I have to say. Oh,
Um,
Lord.
and I mean, going back to the Wemby stuff, last year he shot 35% from three on 9 attempts.
Yeah.
He just hasn't shot a lot this game or
Mm-hmm.
this year. Um, and yeah, the 5-0 start, it makes a little bit more sense to me when you think like typically for opening day, they try and have these like primetime teams, these teams with the stars. You think about it, during the Golden State era, they probably had the Spurs versus the Warriors a lot in that opening night, or maybe or maybe Warriors versus Cavs, but whatever. But like Spurs versus Rockets, Spurs versus Warriors, and they probably lost that first game because the Warriors and Rockets were better at that time. And
Mm-hmm.
then versus the Heat, when LeBron was there, you know, it was, they probably were losing those games too, So that honestly, the 5-0 thing, it's like wow when you think about it, when you think about how good they've been over the past 30 years, but it makes a little bit of sense. But I'm gonna talk about a couple of the other guys from the Spurs. Obviously, Victor is the main guy up there, but Stephon Castle, who's been the second best player, no guaranteed, is averaging 20, 6 and 5, 2 steals, leading the league in turnovers with about 5 per game, but he's got a lot on his plate with no De'Aaron and now no Dylan Harper for a little bit. He's
Mm-hmm.
shooting 55% from the field, 35% from three. One of his biggest flaws in his rookie of the year season last year was his efficiency, because Wemby went down with blood clots for a lot of for a lot of the year, and De'Aaron
Mm-hmm.
Fox didn't play much. He's been pretty efficient to start, and he's doing all the right things for them. Dylan Harper, who we mentioned earlier, is averaging 14, 4, and 4, only playing 23 minutes a night when he has played, 50%, 36% from three.
Mm-hmm.
Keldon Johnson's looked good. Devin Vassell, who just like 4 years ago was the best player on the Spurs, is now like, hey, I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be this shooter. I'm gonna be this scorer to do whatever. If Wemby's not getting the ball, then hey, you can hit me. He's shooting 35% from three on 15 points per game. Luke Cornett's averaging 8 and 8. The craziest thing that I think I've seen through the start of this season was, I think it was either in their first or second game for the Spurs. Victor Wembanyama had the ball at the top of the key and was dribbling, and he pointed for somebody to set the screen for him. 7'5" Victor Wembanyama pointed for Jordan McLaughlin to set a screen for him, who is 6 feet tall. We got 7'5", we got a 6-foot player and a 7'5" player doing a pick and roll, but it ain't the way you did that it probably should be.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know why McLaughlin set a screen and says someone else, but maybe it was for a switch or something. I don't know, but I lied. The last person I'm going to talk about who has been my MVP to start the year, Giannis. Got to give him
Oh
a shot.
yeah.
He's doing as much as he can. Miles Turner's only averaging 10 points. Ryan Rollins has been pretty damn good. He's been the guard play that the Bucks have needed, but Giannis is averaging 32, 12, and 6, a steal, a block. He's shooting 68% from the field and 60% from three. He is doing everything he can, and he would be my MVP for the first couple games of this.
Yeah. Especially they don't really have a true point guard for that team.
Right.
Giannis has been playing point forward, looking like Akeem the Dream, Magic Johnson, and all that type of stuff. So yeah, I agree with that. Giannis has been going crazy.
Yep.
He's been going crazy. Oh, and one thing I wanted to add to with the San Antonio Spurs before we head out, they're gonna have to make some tough decisions in a couple of years because they're 2 point guard, well, guard heavy in general, strapped. You got Dylan Harper. If he keeps playing like we expect him to play, be that all around, superstar or all perennials, all star point guard slash shooting guard, he's gonna have to get paid his money.
Yeah.
Stephon Castle's gonna have to get paid his money. Kendall Johnson getting paid, and you got De'Aaron Fox who just signed a big deal. Victor Wembanyama is gonna arguably sign the largest contract in NBA history at the time. So they're gonna have to pay 3 guys. Harrison Barnes on a pretty decent deal. I don't see him being on this team long term, but you might have to move like a Kendall Johnson or maybe Devin Vassell or Jeremy Shohan
I
to
think
make
Jeremy
room.
Sohan's. I don't think he's going to be on this team very long. I just don't
Yeah.
think he fits.
Yeah, he might be the first one out, and then maybe Kendall Johnson, which is weird because Kendall Johnson, like a couple years ago, outside of Vassell, was like the
Yeah, it was like
second
the
or
best
first best player. So
Yeah.
now those two, Johnson and Shohan, might be the first 2 out because you got to pay Castle, who's been balling. You got to pay Wemby for sure. Fox is on a big deal. You're
Mhm.
gonna have to pay Dylan Harper if he plays as we expect him to play. So that's already 3 guys you're gonna have to pay max money right off the bat, and we know how heavy that second apron luxury tax is. So they're gonna have to make some very tough decisions with their guards in the next couple of years.
Oh,
Yep. All right, guys, that is it for this episode of Hoops All In. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment to our YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below. Share this video out to everybody. Also, don't forget to check out Keith's page, Knows Ball. So thank you, Keith, for always doing what you do over there. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, even though I don't really talk much about basketball. But hey, get the subscriber numbers up. I appreciate it at Worlds TV. I would say follow us on
yeah,
Instagram,
I
but
was going to say.
we got some situation going on with Instagram.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's just been affecting a lot of people, like millions of people. So Instagram, Meta, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, whatever the fuck you want to call it, get your shit together. But follow us on X/Twitter,
Yeah.
whatever you still call it. We're still on Twitter. We're actively posting on there at Hoops All In _ and TikTok as well to Hoops All In _ on TikTok. So yeah, for World's Francois, Keith Bazin signing off. We'll be back for another episode of Hoops All In. Take care. Peace.